What comes to mind when you think of a dragon? Wings spread like a bat, a body that keeps curling up, a scaly skin, sharp claws, and of course a huge mouth spewing flames. In short, a monster. But not everyone has the same thoughts. It is this monster that some are afraid of, and for others it is a symbol of good luck. The thing that surprises me the most about dragons is that such a creature that does not exist is known to everyone. In almost all civilizations that have ever existed on Earth, there is definitely a fairy tale with a dragon in it. Their names may be different, their bodies may look different, but one way or another they exist. In Western legends, he is a favorite creature, while in Eastern legends it is believed that he brings luck. In between the two, there are dragon-like creatures in the middle of the world. Look at Egypt. You will find Apep. Look at the Mesopotamia. Take out the breast nucleus. They don't just live in the legends of the West, the East, or in the middle of the world. They also became the most important assets of the Middle World. I mean the Middle World in the Lord of Rings. So, the fantasy genre also had an integral motif dragons. So, how is that while most of the old fairy tales are forgotten? Dragons are not forgotten. On the contrary, though they manage to protect their assets by developing them. How is it that they can continue acting in the most watched TV series and movies in the world? As you can see, dragons are everywhere. And what is the source of all this? Where did they come from and settle in our imagination? Scientists have some guesses about this. Let's start with the first prediction. Dinosaurs. We have said that dragons exist in almost all world cultures. Another thing that can be found almost everywhere in the world is dinosaur fossils. The people of the ancient world who found these gigantic skeletons may have created the image of a dragon by adding their imagination to the skeletons they saw. 4th century BC, we know that the Chinese historian Cheng Huqiu, who lived in the recorded such a fossil found in the Sichuan region as a dragon. Can you imagine what people who lived 2500 years ago thought when they found a skeleton like this? This animal, 10 meters long and 5 meters high, is almost the same dimensions as the dragons in fairy tales. Let's come to the second theory, the Nile crocodile. In general, it is believed that crocodiles are inspiration for dragons, but in particular, it is suggested that the Nile crocodile, the largest of the 3 crocodile species in Africa, is that ancestor of the dragons in European legends. The average length of the crocodiles is 5 meters and the weight can reach up to 900 kilograms. But some locals say they have seen crocodiles up to 7 meters long and weighing more than 1 ton. Isn't it that how legends come about? From rumors. When someone sees a 7-meter crocodile, he goes and tells his tribe about it. Those who hear him bring the news to the neighboring tribe. This news, which has started to travel by word of mouth like this, reaches Greece and Italy in the Mediterranean before it reaches the north of Nile River. From there it spreads all over Europe. Of course, the 7-meter crocodile also turns into a huge dragon at this time. Indeed, if you look at the crocodile with its mouth open right in front, you can see that it looks like a dragon. The third theory, Goanna. This is a reptile that lives in Australia. They have very sharp teeth and claws. Although they are not as big as dinosaurs or crocodiles, they can grow up to 2 meters long. We see that in the folklore of the Aborigines, the natives of Australia. These animals have a very big place. In these tales, although the people bitten by goanna do not die immediately, their wounds are included with poison. After the bite, the wound flares up again every 7 years. The interesting thing is that until 2005, goannas were not known to have poison in their saliva. It was thought that it happened only in fairy tales. Could this animal be the source of dragons in Oceania and South Asian countries, especially Australia? The fourth theory, whales. This may seem a little strange to you, but remember our first example. Skeletons of ancient people encountered. For example, What would you think if you saw a skeleton like this? Can you understand that this is a whale skeleton? Or that it was an aquatic creature? Maybe it was flying in the air. And he is definitely shooting flames out of his big mouth. It cannot be said that even today we fully understand the largest animals of this world that spend their lives in deep waters. People who lived in the past were not even aware of the existence of these animals, let alone understand. When confronted with their remains, they may have decoded these creatures they had never seen a little more in their imagination with a passion for making sense of the unknown. Which brings us to the fifth source of dragons. The fifth theory, the human brain. Anthropologist David Jones links the subject the human brain in his book, An Instinct for Dragons, to our deepest fears inside that brain. What do we fear? At the moment, out of 100 people who watched this video, 39 have an animal that they are afraid of. Don't worry, I won't show it on the screen. Snake. In the research, even the region where snakes are very feared, it has been found that even the children who live there and have not yet fully known the world have a fear of snakes. When we look at the dragons, whether they are eastern or western, winged or wingless, they all have a common feature that they have a long body like a snake. And where do these dragons from fairy tales live? In dark caves, deep pits, wild mountains, deep in the forest. In general, wherever snakes live. Anthropologist David Jones says that people have been very afraid of three predators throughout history. Three predators that meet in the trees: snakes, leopards, and eagles. These three animals, which are the common fear of people, merge in the legends, turning into a single creature. He says, the dragon. A dragon that is like a snake, with claws like a leopard, can fly, although in Chinese mythology it is wingless. Now look carefully at this figure on the Ishtar gate of the Sumerians. A scaly snake, the hind legs of which are formed from the claws of an eagle, and the front legs are formed from the claws of a leopard. The word dragon, which is the Greek equivalent of the word dragon, was originally used as all kinds of large snakes. At the beginning of the video, I said that dragons are a common motif in all cultures. I maintained that although many things in fairy tales are forgotten, they are not forgotten. On the contrary, they continue to develop with computer games, movies, fantasy literature. It means that these creatures that never come out of our minds are evolving, growing, and expanding just like that the universe.